our lunch break. I just want to have a quick shout out to listings.help, which are the biggest and oldest crypto exchange listing agency. The company has listed over 1,500 projects during 7 years in work and incorporation. Owners of working with 100 different owners of crypto exchanges, offering marketing services, incorporation services. Head down to booth A14 to speak with listings.help. They are one of our main sponsors of the evening as well. Now, our final panel discussion on the topic of the role of cryptocurrency exchanges, I would like to welcome on stage the CEO of Bybit, ZHOU, and the CCO of OKX, LENNIX Lee. Welcome on stage, guys.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey guys. Oh. Let's give a warm welcome to these awesome dudes here.
Hey guys.
We had a chat backstage over there, and they suggested like, yeah, skip derivatives, let's have fun on stage. Hey, it's derivatives. I mean, I'm gonna still have some questions, but yeah. So I'm not sure like if everybody knows who these guys are. I'm gonna make just a short intros. So ZHOU is the CEO of Bybit. That's world's second largest exchange in derivatives and trading volumes. Third largest exchange is OKX right now, and LENNIX is the CCO, sorry. And LENNIX is actually known as one of the earliest employees of OKX. He's been there for the last 7 years, right?
Yeah, probably 6 or 7.
So good, good. So just touching the topic of derivatives, we know that crypto exchanges always serve as the central counterparty when it comes to derivative trades, mitigating risks, and providing settlement services for the users. Just off the shelf, how is this recent bull market treating you? How is it different from the previous ones? Ben?
Okay, I'll start. So let's define the bull market first. I think it's from Q1, maybe we start to see movement happening in February and March, right? I think, at least from Bybit perspective, we see the main drive initially was really driven by institutions. There were a lot more institution players coming into the space and drive the price up. And what we see is quite different than the last bull run, is that exchanges like Bybit, OKX, we are very much connected to third-party custodies. And I think third-party custodies is the main theme why institution can have a lot of inflow. We work with Copper and Fireblocks, and a lot of these institutions are using that after the post-FTX thing. So I think number one is infrastructure is ready, as well as the ETF being approved, and we see the price action was led by Coinbase, and then followed by us on a global scale. And then from our perspective, in March, really the retail start to get involved by the meme coins, by all these other tokens. So yeah, this is kind of the general trend we were seeing, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the market participant is actually a bit different. I mean, even the type of institutional that participate in the market is actually quite different than the last round of bull markets. And of course, exchange improved a lot in terms of risk management and also the system resilience. So even there's up and down and volatility in the market, sometimes it's really sharp. But I see the exchange is very steady, even during the volatile markets.
Okay. do you see any changes in trading patterns? Like traders become more sophisticated, more educated?
Yeah, exchange, I think especially the top 3 players are become so much more sophisticated in our infrastructure. I know OKX also have this unified margin system. We also have. I think during the FTX time was only FTX had it, right? This very fluid system where you can use any token to trade anything. Of course, we now know how they built it. It's because they don't need to do the risk management. They just like, fuck it, and let's just, push it online. Whereas I think for us, we actually also have the risk management. It's extremely hard to build if you want to build it properly. Or you can run naked, yeah? So I think the top 3 exchange all have the infrastructure now, which means that it gives institution a lot of tools. They can do spread tradings, and they can do a lot of, funding fee arbitrage. And based on that, you see big projects like Ethena coming out because infrastructure is ready, right? It was kind of an idea on a white paper, and then now because infrastructure is ready, so it's being, and Ethena relies on third-party custody as well as the exchange infrastructure, be able to trade, do spread trading, do all that sophisticated trading. So to be honest, I think this bull run, especially for institutions, for derivatives, the infrastructure is so much better. The last point I want to make is all the exchanges, the top 3, have options now. The last round was only Deribit. Now, at least for Bybit, maybe LENNIX can add for OKX later. For us, the option is also connected to the unified trading. And you can do so much more if you are, it's just a lot more margin efficient with the current system.
LENNIX?
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, the last bull run, even institutional, they take time to understand all the margin capacity that, for example, OKX offering. But after 1.5 year educations, the capital efficiency of each institutional, I think they are kind of like able to maximize, and also because of their all the margin capability and risk management capability of each exchanges is also optimized. So as Ben mentioned, most exchanges right now got portfolio margin in the account and also cross margin across all the tokens. I think that's already sufficiently a very high standard margin capability compared with even traditional exchanges.
Are there any blockers for you to deploy new products? Like you said, there were no options. Right now you have options. Is it connected somehow?
You mean what's next, or for?
Well, how big is the altcoin options market right now, if it exists?
How big is the altcoin market? Oh, it's huge. Option market. Okay. Option market is very tough. Yeah. When we first built it, we look at the market. We think there's a future, and I still believe in the option market in crypto will increase dramatically as the global regulations start to strengthen. We expect, MiCA to come in for Europe. That means on a global scale, the perpetual contract leverage is going to drop. When you have perpetual contract leverage drop, that will be the biggest boost for option, because option then becomes a much more attractive product for institutional or pro traders when they need the extra leverage kick, right? But for now, I think everyone is building. At least for us, it's not building for the future and getting ready. But what we are offering now is also how can we combine the option offering to retail. So we're doing a bunch of innovative product to the retail clients, more sophisticated, but retail facing, using the option as the backend engine.
But yeah, I think that the current common vanilla options right now, the underlying should be Bitcoin, Ethereum, sometimes Solana, or maybe probably AVAX. So I think at current status, in terms of the liquidity of the market, probably is sufficient. But if it's talking about altcoin option, option with altcoin as underlying, I think there's still a lot of trade. Execution executed on an OTC basis. So it's a two-way bilateral agreement instead of trading on exchanges. So I still imagine that even on exchange side, the current underlying should be sufficient for a while.
Okay, you briefly touched the new traders entering the derivatives market right now. How do exchanges address the educational gap for the newly coming traders for options for derivative trades? LENNIX?
That's tough. Very tough. Yeah, so derivatives is by nature to retail is relatively niche and also highly leveraged tools. And also highly leveraged means also relatively risky. So we spend a lot of time educating user in terms of investment protection or per se investor suitability test. So we want to make sure that the retail, especially retail user, understand all the particular details of each of the derivative instruments. And also we also implement some kind of cooling off period, meaning that if the user somehow got liquidated, we advise the user, hey, you should take a pause, think about in order to trade again. Option is a totally different monster. I think we spend a lot of time trying to simplify the UI and UX and trying to simplify the option trading experience with the markets to the user. I think we will divide the different stages in terms of option education. Probably at the very first start, as a simple retail user, we can only allow you to buy option instead of shorting or writing your option. If you're a professional user, sure, you can increase your level of complexity.
Ben, you have something?
Yeah, I think education is always a long topic. Yeah, well, I think all the exchanges provide education. Whenever my team, we have this quarterly goal setting OKR session, and they will come to me like, Ben, this quarter we're gonna focus on education, and then I'm always challenging them. Do people need education to learn how to use an iPhone? Do people need education to play a game? I think for us, I'm always trying to push the team because education is such an easy answer to say. It's because education that client don't come to us. And I'm like, bullshit. It's because you build a shit product and our product is too complicated for retail to understand. So give me solutions that people don't have to learn. We need to understand that what does the client really want? Client doesn't want the education. Education is the mean to the end. If they want to make money, present them how, and show them a task system, a more gamified system to lead them there. So while we work on education, but I think the main focus of us is to make things simple and try to get to clients. Yeah, this is why we are making all these earn product option to make it easier. Just one click of a button, things are more easier laid out so you can understand.
But do you think it's easy now?
Huh?
Do you think it's easy now?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. I think we have one of the only product in the world. It's called the Perpetual Protect. Is when you have a perpetual contract, you can go long or short on Bybit. Once you have the position, you can buy insurance to cover that position. If you end up liquidating, you get 95 to 90% back of your initial amount if you pay an insurance fee. Now that concept is easy for people to understand, right? Now, rather than telling them you're buying a put option, all that shit, I'm like, let's make it very easy for people to understand. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And our Perpetual Protect is actually a option product behind, yeah.
Okay, LENNIX, you have something to say here?
Actually, I like this product, the insurance, the option-based insurance product based on the position. I think we will educate users based on a structural product perspective, meaning that we're trying to distill option into a fairly easy understand payoff diagram, profit and loss diagram, so people can learn about the yield, learn about the risk, and certain very simple parameters without the clear, we have a very in-depth understanding of option. But what is behind is actually options. So people engaging is actually binary structural products experience.
So how do you see, guys, derivative markets and your role like as a leading exchanges in the next, I don't know, 2-3 years? What steps has to be done? Like what products you have to employ, develop, and launch?
I think towards the end, centralized exchange on derivatives, our biggest strength is our liquidity. Product, all this mechanism is not your competitive edge. People can build it, right? But at the end of the day, why people come to the top exchanges is because the liquidity is there. And actually, it's very difficult to build a institutional grade exchange. And this is why you see the top 3 exchange are very different than other exchange, because the top 3 are the only 3 that is actually institutional grade. All the institutions globally, if you look at all the big players, they are trading on the top 3. Because that requires so much dedication and building in matching engine, risk calculation, margin system, and all of that. So as time goes on, I think we are going more deeper and deeper in building and shorten the latency, become more and more institutional grade, right? Whereas I think there's also an element of the DEX, right? I think a lot of the retails, to me, I think they are gradually all moving into DEXs because DEX, I think user interface, everything is going to be improved. They also have high leverage. If you're a low to medium frequency trading,
is there a conflict? I mean, if people are moving to DEX, there's going to be a conflict with the regulators. They cannot avoid it.
It's not a conflict. It's simple by choice. If you're from Netherlands, by regulation, you cannot touch Bybit. Actually, even Binance or OKX, we're not offering leverage in Netherlands. Then what is your choice? It's DEX, right?
But I'll still be the agent who would commit like, a financial crime in this case, right? Because I will be breaking the laws of my country.
By trading on DEX?
Yeah.
Willingly?
Yeah, I'll keep in crypto.
Yeah? No, I don't think so. I think for the Dutch law, it's that you can actually reverse solicitate. You can go to the...
Since 2027, I will not be allowed to do
2027,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll figure it out a new way then.
LENNIX.
Yeah, I think the next step of central exchanges or even derivatives exchanges is, I think we should attempt trying to narrow the gap between the current central exchanges and our regulatory landscape. Or precisely is how should we promote our product, our derivative product to be promoted and execute under the current regulatory framework or trying to be. It's actually a very new product. It's also a derivative, it's called derivative, but it's actually a very crypto native product. I think at OKX stand is we should try to put derivatives, the current derivative exchange, make sure the regulators stand, and hopefully one day we can offer more jurisdictions.
So you should be working closely with regulators then, right? If you're offering institutional grade trades, and then you should be making a dialogue with them, right? How do you implement those rules inside your exchanges?
So different jurisdictions have different kind of steps and rules and progress in terms of how to regulate crypto exchanges, how to regulate crypto custody, and how to regulate crypto derivatives per se. It is obviously take time, but we can see it speed up a lot over the last 1.5 years. So we are cautiously optimistic, and I believe that this perpetual option crypto native process has been operating for so many years. We have a lot of experience, not just from OKX, but all the exchanges, a lot of data, a lot of experience to be shared to regulators to prove that as certain contexts, actually better products than the current derivatives products in TradFi.
What do you think, Ben? Oh, for me, as a person who was recently stripped of Bybit's account because of the Dutch legislations, what do you think on the regulator's take on MiCA? How would it affect you and derivative trading? I mean, I know that you applied for a license in Hong Kong recently, right? But
We were also applying for MiCA, so by end of the year, most likely, a lot of the product offering that's currently available for Europe will be gone, and that's going to be an industrial thing. It's not going to be me. I think OKX is going to do that. Binance is going to do that. Yeah, so this is why you see exchanges are building Web3 products. Actually, I think OKX is leading on that front. We are working together quite a bit on the Web3 initiative. But this is what we can do, is that we clearly see that by end of the year, Europe is gone for the current product offering. How can we help the clients? How can we help you to even continue to explore what Web3 has to offer? So we're focusing on building self-custody wallets. And you can use the self-custody wallet to do pretty much a lot of things that are currently available on Web3. And we become only the wallet and that bridge to guide you there. Yeah.
okay, thank you. LENNIX, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I think we are in the middle of transforming central exchanges to the next steps. Probably even closer to regulated and traditional spaces. So I think all the major exchanges working on it. I believe that the product right now is almost everyone is quite ready, is quite steadiness. The next step is how to take this industry further.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank
you
you.
very much.